I want to talk to you today about the Lionsgate portal. At the time I am recording this, the peak of the Lionsgate portal, 8/8, August 8th, is the next day. I will be uploading this in an hour or so. So this is in preparation of what to expect. I was hoping to record this in advance like I do with many of my works, but it wasn't coming out properly, so I put it aside, and I finally felt that it was the right time this morning. I'm sharing this with you because I think that it may be something that we are all dealing with at this time, is this sense of divine timing, or not jumping the gun on things, even though it may seem logical to do so in order to prepare things, in order to work ahead. But there are things that simply require us to be quiet and still, and when it is time, it is time. This may be a concept that is echoing in your life as well. I have noticed it not only in mine, but in people around me, people I have spoken to, people who I have listened to. This sense of divine timing or general timing is something that I think causes a lot of anxiety in many of us, both because we are in an environment, a time of humanity where instant gratification is rampant. We have phones, we have social media, we have games, we have things that just happen very quickly. And because of this, when we don't have that reinforcement right away, we can often feel like something is out of alignment, question ourselves, self-doubt, all of these things. And this is serving, I think, as a reminder that just because something isn't happening right away, it isn't responding right away, just like you would plant a seed and not have a flower in 20 seconds. It takes time to grow, to build energy, to go through all of the cycles of change and transformation in order to get to that end point. And even when you do get to that end point, just like a flower, it isn't over yet. It may be the apex again, just like we are about to approach the Lionsgate portal apex, but it is not done with its cycle. Even after the flower is done flowering, it still has some time to go. The flower dies, it falls off, the rest of the plant either dies back or goes dormant and becomes part of the soil structure, part of the overall picture of the environment that it is placed in. So keep this in mind as you move through your week, month, year. And I am going to give you an overview on the Lionsgate portal before we get into a channeled message today. There are many facets to the Lionsgate portal. I am not going to cover every single one of them. It is an infinitely deep subject. You are welcome to do some research. I did not do any numerology for this particular analysis, though there is a lot of numerology. Look up 8/8, Lionsgate 8/8, and you can research anything that has to do with that. But for now, I will just go into a little bit of an overview of the astrological significance. So the Lionsgate portal occurs once a year. It actually occurs for about 2 weeks, maybe a little bit over 2 weeks. And this portal happens around the time of August 8th every year. It tends to begin around the 28th of July and completes on the 12th of August, roughly. The apex of this portal is on August 8th, and that is why the portal is associated with August 8th. It is called the Lionsgate portal because the sun, our sun, is in the sign of Leo as the portal is occurring. Now, the portal is caused by the alignment of the earth, our sun, and the sign of Leo and the star Sirius. It is said that the star Sirius is our spiritual portal. It is the second star in our system, and when we align both of our stars, our sun and Sirius, these create an energetic portal from the now three-dimensional into the higher realms, the spiritual. Some also consider Alcyon in the Pleiades to be our spiritual sun as well, but that is neither here nor there. That may be a message for you to look into the Pleiades or to look into the symbolism of Alcyon, and that is Alcyone if you are interested. But back to the Lionsgate portal, the alignment of our star and Sirius and Earth is an energetic portal which acts sort of like a laser beam of information. We, of course, have access all year around to this information, but many of us on this planet, as I'm sure you know, are shut off from these abilities because of the way that we have been raised. We are not taught to practice them, and so that muscle isn't developed. And because of that, we may have access to it, but we are not able to reach it. We are not strong enough. So think of it like we can't necessarily always reach it, so sometimes it comes to reach us. This portal will affect your entire energy system, and they will come through to you as light codes, which are essentially data bursts that hit your energetic system. Each of our energy centers will take in these light codes and process the information, and then eventually they will physically manifest, and each energy center will manifest in its own way. It will translate it in its own way. Think of them as different computers that speak different languages. And the output is also differently expressed because of these different languages. So let's start with the root chakra and think about how it might express. Let's say we have an upgrade energy and the focus this year is on success. In the root chakra, the grounding chakra that reminds us how to survive in this world, that might come through as financial success. That may not look necessarily like a sudden windfall of money. It may show up as an upsurge of our awareness of the problem points, pain points that we have with financial abundance. So you may suddenly realize that you are accruing more debt than you can pay off, and that will come to a head to remind you of this thing so that you can take a closer look at it and do something about it. Alternatively, if you don't have any issues in this way, then it will simply enhance the efforts that you have already put in. For the sacral chakra, the identity, the self, the sexuality, creativity, this may come through as a burst of sudden inspiration, or it may come through as issues with your identity or your understanding of your own sexuality. And so that becomes a process with which you work through. And when it comes to in the framework of success, like we said, then it may come through as here's an issue, and in order to get to success, you must work through this issue. But working through the issue isn't a task or a test. It is where the data is. So it will come through to you. The data will be stored in different parts of your system. And as you have to overcome challenges, you unravel the data. Think of it like a ball of yarn that has all been tangled up. You need to use the yarn. The yarn has writing on it, but you can't read it until you detangle it. This is what a challenge is. As you detangle it, now you have the release of the information. It was there always, but you couldn't read it, and now you can read it, if that makes sense. You can think about it in this way and go through your energy centers and come up with potentials for how it might play out. Again, this is not to say this is what it will do this year necessarily, but it will give you an idea of what exactly you can expect. It'll give you a framework for which to analyze your life and the happenings in your life and to see, okay, what's going on here? What is happening? How is this coming through into my life? And you'll be able to reflect on it more easily if you do these mental exercises where you project potential ways it might come through. This, again, is not a manifestation technique. It is not a prediction even, but rather a way to get yourself to think about how these things are affecting you, rather than it being some nebulous event that you know is affecting you, but you don't really know how. These are very practical, literal things, and the way to see how they affect you is to observe them. Some of you may be more logically oriented, and some of you may be more creatively oriented, feeling oriented. So you will know whether you are one or the other based on how you process information and issues. So if you're someone who sits and analyzes things and thinks about all of the potentialities, you're a more logically oriented person. If you're someone who doesn't quite know the logic behind it, but you can feel things and you say, that feels good, that doesn't feel good, I don't know what this is, but it's a confusing feeling, it's a mess or whatever, then you are the more feeling oriented, and you can take your orientation and take that and analyze your own life through these orientations. Now, these energy centers in our body will physically manifest. These energy centers are not just gateways or portals, but they are literally the active creating force that we have. Our consciousness pushes our desire, our will, our thought, our intention through these portals and creates our reality, including our body, including our surroundings, and including further out. Of course, there are other people on the planet, and therefore they are co-creating with us. So to some degree, we are creating them and they are creating us. But bring this in closer to your own life for the sake of understanding how these light codes are affecting you. They will hit each energy center, like we mentioned, and each energy center will physically manifest these light codes through different things. It will take time to integrate the information, allow the information to come in fully through the energy centers, process the data, and begin to build physical repercussions from it. These changes, upgrades, upsurges will take the rest of the year through until probably next year's portal to fully integrate and fully manifest into your life. This is something that you can consider and work through the entire year. Of course, this is constantly happening. Like we said, we're constantly being inundated with information, both in the digital 3D realm as well as the spiritual realms. What's different about a portal is that it is highly focused and it is a lot. It's kind of like, rather than just working through one theme at a time, you're working through all of them all at once. So it's kind of like, instead of uploading one program to a computer, you are updating the whole thing and adding like 17 programs all at once. It's going to take a while for you to upload them all, and it's also going to take a while for you to then go in and explore each program. Because of the way this is coming through, there may be fluctuating extremes in your energy and in themes in your life. So you may be extremely tired, or you may be extremely energized, or you may be bouncing between the two. Again, this is because you are receiving a lot of information right now, and you will need time to process it. Like I said, this is, again, being physically manifested in your body. It goes through every single cell in your body. It will take a lot of energy for your cells to process it. But just as you would turn the heat on a pot of water and the water molecules start to speed up in their energy. They start to move faster and faster and faster. You may also be getting bursts of energy in this way, but allow yourself to rest. If you need to sleep in, sleep in. If you need to go to bed early, go to bed early. If you need to take a nap, take a nap. If you need to suddenly go for a run or do a cartwheel or do something that allows you to really release energy from your body, do it. It is very important that you allow yourself to conduct this energy through your body and allow your body to properly integrate it. So please pay attention to your energy levels at this time. Pay attention to what you're eating. If you drink or eat sugars or eat anything that is particularly harsh on your body to digest, limit it at this time if you can. It's best if you can completely eliminate it, at least for the next few days, just because, again, as you are integrating all of these things, it is a lot on your body. So if you can eliminate things that are harsh, do that. If you can't, that's okay, but just pay extra attention and be extra finicky and special with your body. It needs your attention right now. I would like to mention that all beings on the planet are being affected by this. The planet itself is also being affected by this portal. All beings, all humans, all animals, all physical objects, anything on this planet that exists, which it does, is being affected by this portal. Because not all of us are attuned to our body, attuned to our emotions, attuned to our spirituality, we don't all recognize the signs. So the more attuned you are, the more sensitive and self-aware you are, not self-conscious, but self-aware, the more intense it will seem because you are able to really see it all. But everyone is being affected at this time. So if people are acting a bit erratic, no, it's not that they're being irrational or crazy or anything. It's simply that they don't understand that there is so much of an energetic charge being pushed into them right now. So have grace again for yourself and for other people. They are working through stuff and likely have no idea that they are doing it. You happen to know, and so therefore you're aware, and people may be a little bit caustic, and again, not necessarily out of a bad place or a good place or anything like that. It's just highly charged right now. So if you are feeling uncomfortable, don't expect them to be aware, especially if you are not around people who understand these things. But if they are being like that, they are not aware of what they are doing necessarily, and removing yourself from the situation for the next week or so, like I said, when things get really heated and you're uncomfortable and you're not ready or willing to work with an energy like that, it is definitely time to remove yourself from these situations for the time being. So, you know, if you're out and someone is having a fight, leave. Don't stay and watch and hope everything gets resolved. I hope that's making sense to you. I don't want that to be scary or anything. I just want you to realize that people are not conscious necessarily, and because of that energy charge up that is happening right now, things may be a little bit volatile. People may also be in a very positive place, and that's great. But we don't have to worry necessarily about people being happy and joyful and all of that. We need to worry about the other things. So definitely just be mindful of yourself and your surroundings, and make sure that everything that you do is very consciously meant to protect you and your energy in this time. All of this being said, I would like to remind you that astrological events do not happen to you. They happen for you. They are waves of frequency, waves of essences that you can ride or allow yourself to be drowned by. How you choose to use these waves is up to you. The more awareness you have, the more information you have on them, again, based on your particular orientation to processing reality, logical or emotional or sensational, is how you should be collecting this information. And the more information that you have, the better equipped you will be to make decisions consciously at times like this. So what you can do is to set an intention for the next 12 months, from now until next year's Lionsgate portal. You can think of it like a New Year's resolution if you want, but essentially, what theme would you like to work on for the next year? What theme would you like to create in your life for the next year? Maybe you want to embark on a journey with let's use financial success again, like we did before. Maybe you would like to increase your ability to understand finances. Okay, make that your theme for the year and watch as you explore through all of your energy centers throughout the rest of the year that theme. It may start by coming up with information. Information may come to you, free seminars, financial literacy, things like that. Then you go into it and then you realize that, this information was helpful, I thought, but actually a lot of it doesn't make sense to me. And then maybe you take that into account and you look at yourself and reflect your own relationship with finances as your theme and say, okay, I don't understand this. What am I missing here? And then maybe you will have a trip in your financial path where you suddenly lose a lot of money, or a bunch of random charges come through, and now you have to look at that and say, okay, so I'm not aware in this location. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. Please remember, I am saying that anything that happens, whether it feels positive or negative, it is within the theme of this whole intention that you have set out for yourself. It's okay if you trip and stumble. All that means is that you've hit a snag. You've hit a place where you already have stuckness. It is not there to punish you. It is not there to tell you you're doing it wrong. It is there to say, hey, here's a corridor you haven't explored yet. And then you go down that corridor, explore it, and say, oh, okay, I forgot to turn the lights on down here. Then you turn the lights on, and now you've done that, and now you can move on forward into the rest of the exploration. Then from there, you might have a win and be like, hey, this worked, that was great, and so on. This will occur for the rest of the year, given the intention that you set. You may want to write down your theme for the year, put it away, and come back to it next year at Lionsgate Portal. Maybe you get a journal or a piece of paper and you make that your Lionsgate portal journal or paper, and each year you add your next intention. But as you come back to it and reflect on it in a year's time, think about all of the different ways that this theme did come through your body. And again, you can resource that exercise we were talking about before with how it manifests through your energy centers, your chakras. 2 collectives are coming in to talk to us this Lionsgate through me. I have received energy from Orion, rightly so, as we are working with the energy of that system. I should have mentioned that the alignment includes the constellation Orion. So Orion collectives are coming through, as well as Andromedan, which is not necessarily associated with the Lionsgate portal traditionally, but it did really want to come through. So I will do a short message today from Orion, probably another one in about a week or so, and on Wednesday the Andromedans will come through for us. So we have 3 cards that came through, 1 from the Starseed Oracle and 2 from the Wisdom of the Oracle. To begin with the Starseed Oracle card, the message from Orion is, Hi Wraith, longing for home, homesick for the stars. This is reminding me of the reading I did a little while ago. I think I released it last week, and it was about having a star family or a soul family who is here on Earth with you at this time. Yes, also along many timelines, but specifically at this time, and this desire to reconnect, or this need to reconnect with at least individuals who are similarly minded. So if you are someone who is interested in starseeds and light codes and all of this energetic work, you need to surround yourself with some people who are as well. Whether you bond with them or not, it is imperative that you have that reflection in your life of individuals who feel the same way. Yes, of course, you can do this digitally like you are right now with me, with other readers, but if you can find people in person, it will be infinitely more powerful than anything you can get online. And our next card is Orphaned, the number 5. It's echoing the same energy that you may have been going it alone for a long time. You may have been going it alone recently, but you need to bring in these people. You are not alone, and isolating yourself isn't helping you anymore. It may have helped you. You may have been in a hermit mode, and that may have cleared your pathway and cleared your consciousness in order to upgrade to the point that you got to. But at this time, it is very, very important for you to find individuals to reflect on, even if all you do is visit a metaphysical supply store and have a chat with someone. It doesn't matter if you're both on the same wavelength. You just need to be around more people who have this type of understanding. It may, of course, be other things. You may be an artist and you're surrounded by very logical ones and zeros, bankers, scientists, whatever, and they don't have that same reinforcement for the artistic mind. Go to some art shows, go to an art gallery. It's okay if you don't intend to buy anything, you just want to be around other people who are exploring reality in the same way that you are at this time. It is very important, because if you don't, you won't get the full effect, because you'll be spending a lot of time in your head questioning yourself, questioning whether you are really where you're supposed to be, whether the way you are exploring reality is valid. And it is, but you need others in order to help you realize that at this time. And our final card from the Orion Collective today is Building Blocks, number 28. I am going to read from the book for this one. Building blocks, strong foundations, a beautiful work in progress. You have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life. This is a time when your focus needs to be on the foundations you build upon. Your work, your relationships, and your very being are underwritten by your values, ethics, morals, and core beliefs. Are they still true for you? Will they stand the test of time and serve as the solid grounding upon which you construct your life? Now you are making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is truly a remarkable and beautiful design. I have done a few readings about values and using your values to create your life and getting clear on your values and the importance of it. You may be interested in watching those recordings if you haven't already, or revisiting them if you don't remember them. Going along with the theme that we were talking about a minute ago, this is feeling to me like there is a call that the people that you bring into your life will help you in this way. I just had the idea that being around people who are similarly minded may help you be more clear about what it is you believe specifically. You know how sometimes you go into a situation where you expect people to believe things the way that you believe them because they call themselves by the same name, like a light worker, for example. You go and meet other light workers and you look at them and you're like, this is totally different. And maybe it calls your beliefs into question, or maybe it shows you that, wow, I actually have these beliefs and I don't like their beliefs. I like mine better. That helps you to solidify who you are in the world and what you are here to bring. And because of that experience, that contrast in opinions or beliefs, you now have a better direction in which to aim yourself, either towards questioning your own beliefs and really deciding whether they are yours or not, or saying, you know what, I like mine better, these are great, I don't like theirs, and going off into that direction. And now you know better the type of person that you want to bring into your reality in order to create that sense of community. You deserve community, you deserve people, you deserve support on every level. You do. You have to remember this. You do not need to go it alone. No one is here to go it alone. Even the hermit is not here to go it alone. The hermit is there to get clear so that they can go out and find the right people, the right way, the first time, instead of being confused and befuddled by all sorts of different people coming at them. I hope that this reading was helpful. I hope that you have a great Lionsgate portal. Like I said, be very mindful of yourself, your physical and emotional and spiritual energies, and others around you as well. And I hope that you have a blessed day or night whenever you are watching this. Please be sure to like this video if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below what you thought of this reading, what your intentions might be, what type of person, people, values you might be hoping to call into your life for the next year. Happy Lionsgate, and until next time, bye.